Hey people, welcome back to the lockdown backyard trails build. We're on episode 8. It's been 8 episodes of consistently building more and more hand-built trails, and today is going to be no different. We're going to be working on this shark fin. In fact, we're going to finish this shark fin, and I'm optimistic, I'm confident that we're going to ride the new shark fin. So this is the shark fin takeoff. It's called that because of the cool angle, and I'm pretty sure from some way it looks somewhat like a shark fin. And the whole point is not to jump straight, but to jump a long way over here. So we're going to finish that today. I'll show you the roller that's had some work to it shortly, but the landing I want to be as far this way as possible. I really have to yank in one direction off of that takeoff and land over here. So we're going to need to bring a lot of new dirt over to here. The race jump that's going to go down the middle we can then do afterwards. That's going to be a straight jump. I think I'm going to bring the kicker all the way back to here, dig out more of that turf so that one line really jumps over the other. That's always been the dream, so we're going to do that. And I think we have to ride this shark fin today. In the last video we rode the new roller. Actually we did jump off this, didn't we? And I rode the chunky piece spine. Ben has pledged and promised to ride that in this video, so you'll be seeing that. It's all so dry now. I'm pretty keen at some point soon to go all the way through the line and fill all these cracks and make it all look immaculate. But right now we're just too focused on progression. This is the pump bump, the cool cambered roller where I've added even more camber to it. And yesterday, I'm sure Ben, you could throw some shots in of how sick it looked yesterday with all the glossy, greasy trowel float technique. But I'm really happy with this. This is cool. This is going to ride even better, be even faster. In the last video when we jumped off that when it was soft, we probably travelled 6 foot. Let's go for a 10-foot gap. Let's get the tape measure today when we build the landing and make it a 10-foot gap. I'm going to go through a few little tips and tricks in this video because I've been asked to do so. Maybe some pointers, some do's and don'ts for building trails, for building backyard dirt jumps. So I'll stop and do that, but right now I think we should get rolling. I'll show you all this stuff and let's finish that shark fin takeoff. The shark fin looks sick, like the angle on it, just what you can do with this clay. It blows my mind what you can do with this clay using this tool. I said it was called a trowel, and then I corrected myself and said that everyone in the comments in the last video said it's a float, and now I'm going back to saying it's a trowel. Someone said I'm literally a plasterer, Matt, and that's a trowel. So it's a trowel, and it allows us to do this. I wish it would stay like that. Like the pump I did last night, it's already cracking like mad. So I think as well as building jumps today, another thing I'm going to do is sieve some fresh dust and fill those cracks, because it's quite depressing that something starts like this and 2 days later looks like that and 3 days later looks like that. That's the timeline of destruction and perishment of the trails. So we need to keep on top of it. So we're going to do some watering, some dusting, but the most important thing to progress the line is build this new landing. I said it was going to be 10 foot. Which is bad because we should do it by eye, but I'm just going to get a gauge of how far 10 foot is. A bit windy for airborne tape measuring. So from the centre of the lip, 10 foot is here. I think that's achievable. I think the reason the rake's here, wrong way up again, the reason the rake is there is to mark 10 foot to the inside edge. So if we pile the landing this side of the rake, it's going to look hefty. It's going to be the first hefty jump in the line. We'll build the racer down the middle later on, but we've got a lot of wheelbarrows to do. One little tip, so a lot of people make this mistake, I think. I see a lot of tags on Instagram and people building their first jumps and they start with a base that's too small. If you want the top of your landing or your takeoff to be 4 foot wide or 1 meter wide, you need to be at least half of that again with the base. So 6 foot landing on top, you need 9 foot base minimum, because they always taper in, and people make a little pile of dirt thinking that's the size I want it to be. By the time it's tapered in, there's almost nothing to ride. So even that spine, the chunky piece, the sides are so steep, but still the base has to be a lot wider than what your desirable top width is going to be. So we're going to start piling barrows, and we're going to need a big area for this landing, because it's going to be like the lip but the opposite. It's going to have a bit of angle on it coming this way. So we're going to have to do a lot of midday sun work today, that old gym workout, the backyard trails. I'm excited though. I can't believe how good that looks. So we're going to sieve dirt, we're going to water, but most of all, we're going to stack. Let's do it. Right then, the landing is in place and the gap is hefty. The gap's really, really big. I said it was going to be 10 foot. We didn't do much measuring during the build process. Way overshot. Can you hold this on where we're going to take off? Probably just inside the middle. So 10 foot is there, you're dead. 11 is case. 12, if you jump 12 foot, you just clear it.
Wow. And
I've just measured the jump before, and that was 8 foot centre to centre. So we have to assume that from that left hip to here, you need a 50% speed increase to get that 50% extra distance. Let's hope that pump bump delivers a lot of speed. I'm optimistic though, because you can't base physics around the gaps and the lengths of jumps. They all ride differently. This one is steep on the outside and mellow on the inside. So depending on how you ride it, you're gonna get a different result and a different distance. But it's a bit of a, could call it a country job. Like, it doesn't look as good as everything else, and that's because there is an element of risk that we're going to have to move it. So I haven't given it the full gloss up, spruce up. And also, this is all going to need digging down deeper. Right here, more turf blocks. So that's going to extend the landing and make it longer. But I'm really, really chuffed with it. I'm super, super excited to ride it and a little bit nervous. But let me show you the takeoff. So the landing got finished last night. This takeoff's over a day old. But the problem with where the sun goes and how steep this takeoff is, this section hasn't seen enough sun and it's still soft. Look, that's actually horrible. And Moose's paws there, they sunk in yesterday. He loves limelight, doesn't he?
He does.
He really steals the show in all of the shots. But that's a problem, that's not actually ready to ride. And I did promise at the start of the video I'm going to ride it, and we are going to ride it in this video, even if it means a late upload. We might have to get a magnifying glass and a mirror and target sunlight directly onto that, but I promise we're going to test it. I dug this out this morning, woke up early and dug all of this through. Got 7 wheelbarrows of clay out of this, so it looks mega. That's made this taller, effectively. It's going to mean we need less dirt for the racer. It's really, really cool. I love the way it starts flush with the grass and tapers all the way down to quite deep on this inside edge. It's really, really cool. So the shark fin transfer is going to be a bit of a waiting game, but I think in the meantime we need to have a session. I've sieved some fresh dirt with Ben so we can fill all the cracks. Ben, you have to ride the spine. Let's do it. Let's fill all those cracks and make it look mega. One thing I forgot to mention, this took, it must have been 40 wheelbarrows of dirt to finish that. And when you build jumps along the way, you have to compact the dirt by treading on it. If you've got a digger, obviously you can bash it in with the bucket, because you get ahead of yourself. You get like 3 foot high, 4 foot high, you think you've got a 4 foot pile of dirt. You haven't, because when you compact it and tread on it, it honestly like halves. That's really, really important, and that will prevent it shrinking and getting smaller with time as well. It will mean when you've got a finished landing or a takeoff, the height that's there should remain the height for a long time. So let's get into this session. I think, Ben, are you going to put your pads on for that, or are you just going to run shorts?
Just going to run shorts.
It's that sort of weather, isn't it?
It is.
And then we can start waiting for the sunshine to prepare this 12 foot transfer. I'm calling it a transfer temporarily because I've said shark fin every other word for 2 days. Come on then, let's get into it. Feels so good. Just a whole line, it's a whole line now, isn't it? But that shark fin gap is hefty.
It's huge.
It's quite scary. You ride through the middle of it, not even aware that you're in the centre of a jump. That's our first big gap. You've kind of got to get the spine figured out first though.
I know.
Shall I have a few runs and you can kind of watch it be ridden?
Yeah.
Given that I'm not braking now, is a good thing because you don't have the ability to brake.
True.
All right, I'll have a bit of a session and then we'll swap because I'm pretty keen to see you get over that. And then it's shark fin. It is drying out, the lip's drying out. It's looking promising. If you went a bit slower, you could definitely nose bonk the top of the landing on that.
Well, you called it now, mate.
I have called it. If you miss, you're just gonna go. See, that's where the shade is on that side. But I think first run, there's no way we're gonna hit the steep part. Literally no way. So that's getting there. Woo!
Yes!
A nose bonk bar spin will be on the cards at some point. Another thing I've spotted, so I just keep finding new things and ideas. There's no reason that you couldn't go up really high on the spine and instead of hitting the racer that we're yet to build, go this way. You landed right on that edge and hit the shark fin. Speed's going to be a challenge, but when you do pull up on this, it just drives you out the landing. It's just like, rah! Food for thought. Right, I'll do one more.
Okay.
And then it's just time, isn't it? Woo!
Looking really good, mate.
Oh, sick. Oh, here we go. Look what I found. Ben, oh. You're up.
See how this goes.
Go on. Oh! Go on. Oh! Yes!
I anti-pumped so much.
I know, but that's exactly what I did first run. Of all the things you could have done, casing is the best one. It's crazy that you can anti-pump on a bike with no brakes to slow down. Go on, lad.
Oh! Just missed again.
I know, it's sick though. It looks really good. It does look bigger on a little bike.
Yeah.
We should use you for future photos.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm.
Oh, I missed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Fair play. How did that feel?
Really smooth. I didn't pump over the roller at all because I was sort of like abandoning, but I still went, it felt really quick.
Are you claiming that you could jump that 12-foot transfer?
Yeah. More comfortably than the spine, I reckon.
Coming. Go on. There it is. Woo! That was cool. We've completed the main line.
Strange old thing, that.
That is the main line, and we're building the sideline. Can we agree on the names?
Main line, sideline. Yeah.
Just to help with conversation.
That works. I'm happy with that.
Do you want to just do a quick train?
Okay.
And then I promise to everyone watching that it's shark fin time after that. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, when you get to the spine, everything shrinks.
Slows down, yeah.
Suddenly I've gone from being in front of you to above you.
That was sick though.
Oh, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. We're sinking in. It's firmer, it's way firmer. It's been about an hour and a half, 2 hours since the last shot of our train. I think it just needs to be sent. We might get rain tomorrow. Currently 3 o'clock. This video would usually have gone out by 3 o'clock. But we're just patiently waiting. I'm excited to ride this though, the new surfaced roller. Ben's already had a little test demo session.
Sure have.
How do you want to do this then? We could ride straight off it and just see how far we get. As a gauge, but it's even softer on the right. I think the safest way of doing it is just jumping it, because then you get to ride the hardest part of the ramp, not the bit that's been in the shade.
Oh mate.
12 foot.
That looks very far when you do it like that.
Yeah, it is far. It's 12 foot. Yes, very far. Yes. It's our first proper jump, and it's the one I'm most scared to hit. Realistically, if you land like that, it's going to be a lot better to do it on this than on the spine.
Yeah, you'll just go over the bars and land in the pit bike track over there probably.
Down the bottom there. Yeah. Yeah. And then Moose will just come and sit on you anyway. No time like the present.
Send it, mate.
If you're watching this video, this is fresh off. This is happening like an hour prior.
Literally.
Let's get this done. Yeah, let's get this done. There's quite a lot to think about. Ride the roller, don't clip your left bar end, double your speed and jump the shark fin for the first time. Here we go. No. No. Oh mate, that's so scary. We're lucky we can do that. And there's not a tree in the way or a canyon. I really bottled it.
What about speed?
Well, I didn't get the left hip very good.
Right.
And the roller, it was my first time riding it, it feels so smooth. But I'm terrified of hitting my bar end on the
Yeah,
spine.
you were getting close.
That would be the worst. Oh, it's quite far, pretty far. Yes! Yes!
You were so close to overshooting
Look at
it.
it, look at the mark. That
Fair
is
play.
proper. We can make it bigger.
Wow.
Close call that.
That was very close.
I would never have guessed that I'd be that side of it. In terms of distance, it is on the money as well.
Yeah.
I want to do it loads. Look at that.
Not too bad.
Yeah, that would the lower one would have been my time up then, because of how much width I travelled. This is the cool thing about these takeoffs though. I obviously travelled really far left, so if I just take off more central and get more height, I can compensate distance and get more height. So, based on that theoretical principle, let's put it into action here and see if this hypothesis can become real evaluated results. It's a long time since science class. I want to be smack bang in the middle of that landing.
So good.
Wicked.
You always miss those, Matt.
Can't
You
do
always...
It's because I've got sunstroke. It's 24 degrees in the UK, which is blistering hot, and all the Australian viewers will be kicking their computers and phones and iPads saying, we've just come out of summer. It's pretty hot for me, 24. I'm well happy with that.
Big gap.
It's a risk, wasn't it? We didn't know where to put the landing. We put it further than agreed, and yet it could have been even more. So the next jump, God knows what we're going to put here, is going to be a large one. You up for it?
It might be a spine situation again. I might just wait a bit, wait for it to be properly cooked.
Yeah, like concrete.
Yeah.
BMX, you need harder ground than me. Little wheels sink in more when it's soft.
True.
It's good though, honestly. But you might have to wait. I'm going to dig the landing through for the next video.
Cool.
Another thing, so this is episode 8. Ben found a really cool comment which was like, why don't you make episode 10 an almighty marathon jumbo episode with XXXL content and extra long? A lot of people have got a lot of spare time. So we could work towards that, or if you'd rather us keep this like every other day format going, which is pretty tough anyway, we could graft and make a long one though, I think. Especially with pit bikes. And Beck, you could wheelie the lawnmower. Doesn't know, it won't happen. Yeah, we've got a lot of digging to do. Promise you'll do it next time?
Yeah, 100%.
Good. Today has been honestly so sick. The new feature, a shark fin to have in the trails, feels unreal. It's so flowy, and whatever's going to come after is going to have to be big. So comment some ideas of what you want to see go here. We've got some more dirt, we can keep digging down. We've had a spine, we've had a shark fin. We haven't had a berm. We could have a berm. But yeah, thanks for all the comments so far, thanks for all the support. Episode 9 is up next, so we'll see you there. See you in the next episode, and happy Easter, legends. Beck, have you got me an Easter egg?
You know I have.
Yes!